Everyone, this is Kelly Cahoot and I'm here for catscrappiness.com. Today I have a quick and easy spring card to share with you featuring the adorable Gerda Steiner Hoppiness stamp set. I just love the little bunnies and the little birds' faces. I'm going to use the two there with the glasses and the little fence that they're going to peek over. So I loaded those into my Stampaholic stamping tool, and I am stamping those onto some Bristol cardstock with VersaFine ink because I want to use the Zig Cling Color Real Brush markers, and this type of ink is waterproof. So I'm going to ink those up and stamp those down and make sure I get a good impression. And I'm just going to do some really super quick and super easy coloring with those Zig markers. I love these little images. I had to use these with the little glasses on. So I'm going to start out by coloring that little bit of fence, and I added some dark brown marker. And what I'm really going to do for this wood fence is just add lots of color and layers of color and pigment. So I'm just going to kind of swipe over it and get just a layer of pigment down. I'm going to spread that out with a wet brush. And then, like I said, I'm going to go over it and over it until I get that desired look that I'm going for. I have to tell you, this wood panel kind of intimidated me at first, but I think it turned out good in the end. Like I said, I just went over it and layered color. If I thought it looked too light, I added a little bit of dark. If it was too dark, I kind of blotted it up. These markers, you can get wet and then take a paper towel to them to pick up a little bit of the pigment if it starts to look a little bit too dark. And see, at this point, it looks like a mess. It's a little yellowy orange. I'm going to take that dark marker and go in and add a whole bunch of dark over that and get it more of a rich brown tone. You can see there where I'm just kind of swiping in those dark spots. There's already some wood lines and marks there. So I kind of followed that just in case I didn't get my marker marks blended out too well, but they actually worked pretty well for this. As you can see there, I'm not being careful. I'm just smoothing out all that pigment. So this is the finished look. As you can see there, I've got different tones in the wood and different colors. Darker in some spots and lighter in others. And I went in with green, a couple of green markers, and did the same thing to the little bits of grass there on the bottom. And then after that, I started coloring my cute little bunny. I wanted him a really pale gray, so I'm using a pale gray there. And just like I did with the little bit of fence there, I'm adding in a little bit of pigment, and then I'm going to take a damp brush and just smooth it out and spread that pigment all over the little image there. Once I got a good bit of a base color down after this one, you can kind of build up your color. Like I said, with a paper towel, you can, get it damp and kind of take away or blot up a little bit of the color. I used a light orange and a bright yellow to color the cute little bird. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to use a wet brush and just spread that pigment all over the image. And I almost forgot to color inside their little glasses there. And I remembered there at the last minute. Get that down into his belly. And I love that these markers are so forgiving. You can kind of, build up color, build up pigment. They're awesome. I love them. And they're super, super quick to use. If you need to color just a quick card, quick image, I love these markers. I'm going to add a little bit of pale pink on the bunny's ears and cheeks and smooth that out as well. As you can see here, the gray has been dry for a little bit, but that pink just smooths right in to his little cheeks and what's already gray there. Okay, I'm going to move on to the background. I am using my Clarity Stencil brushes, and this is a little bit of, I think I began with Twisted Citron, and I may have moved on to Mowed Lawn to get a little bit greener, more of that green grass look. Excuse me, but I'm going to just take my brush and make a green grassy bottom area. And then I took some tumbled glass, and I'm not for sure on the second color. It wasn't getting dark enough, so I did take a second color and went in for the sky. But I'm just blending those down into one another, the green into the blue, just letting them fade into one another. I'll have the colors listed in the description box if you're interested. I trimmed that card panel down, and now I'm ready to add my little images. I fussy cut the fence and the bunny and the bird. And I thought that my little fence image needed just a little more detail. So I'm adding some grass there to the background. It had grass on the fence piece, but I wanted to add some in to the background as well. So I'm just taking another one of those zig markers, and I love that you can just use a couple little flicks of that really fine brush on the end of the marker, and you can get some little grassy marks there. And I'm going to pop each of these little critters up on some mini action wobbles and have their little heads just bobble right over the top of that fence. I did have to clip down the wobble that goes behind the bird because he was so much smaller. As long as you don't get into the actual spring part of the wobble, you should be fine to clip it down and use it on smaller images. Last but not least, I had to do something with those cute little glasses, and so I used my glossy accents and just kind of squirted a big blob there in the center of each lens, and then used that fine tip to spread it out. I love the way these turned out in their little glasses. All the supplies in this video can be found in the description box and are found at catscrappiness.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.